We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from the GME studio, it's Good Morning Entrepreneurs.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Entrepreneurs.
Are you an entrepreneur who has felt like you were all alone on your business adventure? Well, you're in the right place.
You know, being an entrepreneur can be lonely and challenging at times, looking for people to bounce ideas off of and get feedback.
Welcome to Good Morning Entrepreneurs,
the show designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs just like you.
Keep watching for your dose of entrepreneurial fun with the Roving Reporters and, of course, Kim and Carrie.
As we like to say around here, buckle up, Buttercup.
Good morning, entrepreneurs, and welcome to show number 76. I am joined by the dancing, apparently, icon herself.
I can't help it.
Kat Corchado. She is a military veteran, an amazing human, and y'all, she's the founder of Small Space Pilates and the host of Sisters in Service podcast. All those things, Kat, that you do. So thank you for co-hosting with me today.
Of course.
And if it's your first time to the show, I am Kim White. I am the founder and fierce leader of the My Sexy Business team and community, and we are so grateful you're here with us today. Today's show is going to be exciting as usual, and I have to laugh, Kat, because I keep using the word fast and furious, but we're not furious. We're just fast. It's a fast-paced show for entrepreneurs.
Yes, it is.
For people who want to be entrepreneurs to see living proof, because you know what? Most people don't wake up and say, I think I'm going to take this adventure that's going to be really hard. They don't wake up and they don't think about those things. They just like the enticement of being a business owner or the freedom that being an entrepreneur brings. So we hope we can inspire you today. We hope we can motivate you. And let me just say out loud, if you haven't been with Kat in, I will say, the Small Space Pilates community where she kicks our booty, all the while being sweet, you're in for a treat with her co-hosting today, because she can be fierce enough to stare down a moose. We'll tell that story in just a minute, but thank you for being with us today.
It's great to be among like-minded people. You know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, it's usually something that you've thought about for a little bit at least. No one wakes up, like you said, Kim, and says, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. But along with anything that's really exciting and it's going to be a journey, there are some things that happen. And you may be ready for it, you may not be ready for it, but if you have that passion burning in your heart to be an entrepreneur, those little roadblocks are nothing at all. And speaking of entrepreneurs, let's go into entrepreneur land.
We love living in entrepreneur land, Kat. That is for sure. Today's theme is growing pains. I feel like this theme comes from questions we get. But a lot of people have growing pains that they're surprised by, Kat. Whenever they come into business, they're like, oh my goodness, this is hard, or this is, I don't know how to do this thing, or whatever it is. And there are a lot of growing pains when you're on the entrepreneurial adventure.
Oh, I totally agree. And one of them is patience. Like we want the thing to be right now. In
Yes.
business, everything's going strong. And I think I've struggled with it. And I'm sure other people have struggled with just being patient and knowing that all the small things that you're doing are working towards that big thing that you're working for as an entrepreneur.
Well said, Kat.
Wow, thank you. So I like to say keep it moving, and we're going to keep it moving with one of my favorite segments, the GME Chronicles.
Thank you, Kim and team. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the GME Chronicles. My name is Jill Olish, and we have some updates to share with you today, August 30th, 2024. The GME Chronicles is a celebration of moving the needle in our businesses. And we want to share these numbers out loud with you to show what is possible when coming together in business. The GME Chronicles. The total of 15 events last week included Kat's Pilates classes, Adam's book launch party and birthday celebration, the Mama Outspoken Village gathering with myself, and My Sexy Business had 6 mastermind sessions. Fire Up Mastermind round number 26 came to a close, and we want to celebrate those who finished it. Congratulations to you, masterminders. Linda posted 3 blogs, and My Sexy Business posted 1 blog, as well as went live with show number 75 of GME. 3 new podcast episodes dropped last week. Go give them a listen. Mucked Up My Self-Care, Sisters in Service, and 5 and 15 interview leadership series. On Clubhouse, Adam and Denise hosted the My Sexy Business Not Creepy Room on Wednesday, and on Thursday we had the second walk and talk with the My Sexy Business community. Last week's number of 23 brings our grand total to 5,602 amazing things done together as a community since 2021. We look forward to more updates next week, and if you are ready to join in on the fun around here, you can find us coming up at the Groundwork Brigade Open House on September 4th and 5th, Yvonne's Age Agitator Club, TNT website workshop, and Kitchen to Kitchen and Sticky Note Time accountability coming up on September 7th. Back to you in the GME studio.
Oh, those numbers are awesome.
They represent a whole lot, Kat, a whole lot. And I want to say cheers to the numbers. I have to giggle because my kiddo sent me a great coffee mug. It's big and it's got a moose, y'all. It's like 3D from Breckenridge. But I have to giggle and say, Kat, you told us a story about a moose that doesn't really surprise me about you that I think we need to quickly share before we go on.
Sure, Kim. So I was in the military, for those of you who don't know. I was stationed in Maine, as far north in Maine before you get to Canada. A friend and I were walking/running, more walking than running, around the perimeter of the base, and we kept hearing these footsteps behind us. Well, after a couple times, we finally turned around, and there was the biggest moose I'd ever seen. It was a male, huge rack, etc. And it just stopped and stared at us. And we stopped and stared at it. And then finally it said, "I'm bored," and it went into the woods.
I have to giggle and say, you heard that right, y'all. She stared down a moose. Like, if you've ever seen a moose, you know how big they are. I think I would have been in a puddle on the ground. Like, I don't even know. But Kat, that doesn't surprise me about you. You are so brave and courageous.
I don't know who stared down whom. I'm just going to say.
Well, you put anything in front of Kat, she needs to know about her entrepreneurial adventure, and she'll stare that down too. Just saying. I do want to take a quick second to give one more cheers to our very own Carrie Zarb, because her 12th, I'll get this out right, her 12th anniversary for her business, Sync Business Solutions, is this Sunday, September the 1st. So Carrie, we're giving you a cheers with a moose, with Kat and stare down a moose. We're cheering for you to continue, and we're just very proud of you. So there you go, Kat.
Miss you, Carrie.
That's right. We miss you, Carrie Zarb. And I will say that we're going to go right over to the Moose Starer Downers segment, and it is called Military Minute. In the military, I am guessing, because I'm not military, Kat. I want to make that very clear. I'm asking questions as a non-military human that just is curious about things. I feel like you have to have a lot of perseverance. I feel like I have to have a lot of perseverance in business. How do those two things relate for you?
Oh, that's a tough one. So perseverance isn't something that you just have. You know, say, oh, you're so courageous. No, you don't know you're courageous until after the fact. I think perseverance is something when you look back in your life, because there were many times, even as an entrepreneur, but even in the military, where I didn't want to do it anymore. However, I got up off the floor, dusted my little uniform off, and I kept moving. That's perseverance, is moving forward when you're not sure you want to, you're not sure you can, but you do it anyway. Can I just say I love that segment? I'm just putting it out there.
I do too, Kat, and I'm just giggling because, just so everybody understands how we put the show together, we did this interview and then we clipped it up so that we could use it for different segments on Good Morning Entrepreneurs. Here's the funniest thing is, we didn't know we were going to tell the moose story till this morning. We didn't know that it was going to have anything to do with anything. And then here Kat's on her segment that was recorded in June saying, perseverance, you don't know until you're courageous until after you're courageous. And I'm thinking, you knew you were courageous when the moose walked into the woods. Like, let me just say that out loud.
Oh, that is a coincidence.
So speaking of other courageous humans in the community, I have to say, we want to just give a shout out to Groundwork Brigade Mastermind Community, which is the community we all run in. And I feel like we talk about it, but we don't talk about it, Kat. Like, I think this is part of the thing, is it's a place to come with whatever business questions you have. We have designated weeks to learn something once a month. We also have designated Q&A weeks. We have designated social media weeks, so you can come and work on your socials together and make sure that it's not a heavy lift. So the community comes together in a way that, to me, is just glorious, because everybody helps everybody else. And I think that that's important. A lot of people have asked about it being a time suck, because we're there, you know, in the community, but you're not required to come every time if you have something else. And you get exponential payback, I feel like, for the time spent there, because not only do you get your things done, you learn things, but other people benefit from what you get done. So do you have anything to add to that, Kat? Because I feel like that's part of what we haven't been saying enough of what is it really like in the community?
It's a place for me. What I think of is it's this place where whatever questions I have about my website, about business, about how to do something, that's the place to ask the question. And sometimes you may have to ask it several times, like some people, and it's okay. You keep asking the question until you're clear. But it's also a place, if you're saying, oh, I've got to get this done, that's the place to do it. So you can ask questions while you're doing it. They're all like-minded individuals, because we're all entrepreneurs. We're all in different segments of being an entrepreneur, but we learn from each other because we've all done different things. And so it's this big learning experience, but you're also getting work done. I mean, where else can you find that? This is the only place I know of that you can do this and be okay with it.
I love it, Kat. And we want to invite you. Kat and I will be the ones to raise our hands and send out the invitation. We want to invite you to the open house on September 4th and 5th. If you have not had the opportunity to come to the open house and just check us out, check out who's in the community, check out things, join us. We're putting an open invite out there. Open house is free. We've got roving reporters who would happily introduce you or bring you or sit with you, I'll call it, together so that it doesn't feel so scary. So we just want to invite you, and that's our little quick shout out to Groundwork Brigade and our little commercial for this segment, because we think it's important.
Very important. And speaking of not making things scary, our first roving reporter is talking about surprise and delight marketing. And that's our very own Donna Bender.
Donna Bender is a master givologist, branding product strategist, corporate marketing trainer, published author, host of The Big Show and Tell, summit leader, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. This is Donna Bender coming to you today as a roving reporter for Good Morning Entrepreneurs. Today's surprise and delight marketing segment is on the first of a two-part series on to brand or not to brand. That is the question. I'm often asked if someone should put their logo on everything they give to their clients. So I like to share about many of my firsthand experiences working for both American and European designers in the fashion industry. That's where I learned the importance of knowing the difference of when to use branding on the outside, where everyone can see it, and when using branding on the inside added more value. For example, your company's asked to participate as a sponsor at an outdoor event, so putting your logo and brand on products is extremely important for your business and the perfect vehicle for your marketing dollars. Let's just take one product, promotional bags. The focus should be on your company because you're marketing your company. Do you know what the number 1940 represents? It's the number of impressions one promotional bag delivers over its lifetime. And check out some of these other stats from the ASI study in 2023 about why marketing your company on a branded bag works. 43% of users keep branded bags for an average of 18 to 24 months. And 26% of consumers are more likely to do business with advertisers that gave them a promotional bag. So, in this case, to brand or not to brand, the answer is yes. Back to you, Kim and Carrie.
I love her. She's just awesome. And for anyone, branding can be that, or even gifts can be intimidating. And what I can say from experience is that I have worked with Donna and she makes it very unscary. And she doesn't just send you a link and say, here you go. She walks you through the process. And so, when you do that, when you have someone who's holding your hand literally and helping you to make a decision, that she's very, very good at what she does. Very good. And I would like to say that Donna also puts a lot of her information in her very own book called The Art of Giveology, Giving Your Way to Success in Business.
Love it. Love it. And while we're getting the book cover up, I just want to say this cat was a gift from you because I am in your small space Pilates. And I love this because every morning I get to see I am freaking fabulous like Cat Corchado.
Yes, you are, Kim.
And that was a Donna special. Like she helped with that. But Donna's book is full of information, full of things, ideas, suggestions. I will say she also has The Big Show and Tell, which just dropped this week. If anyone has not seen her, I'll just say her fun holiday segments. It's worth the price of admission, which is actually you get to watch on YouTube. But if you have it, at Donna Bender Giving is her channel on YouTube. I'd also like to just point that direction to her too. She's hysterical and she's full of wisdom.
Yes, she is. A lot of knowledge.
A lot.
Yes.
So speaking of somebody who is wise beyond their years, we'll say, let's head over to our segment with Jill Olish on For Mama Entrepreneurs. Jill Olish is the ambassador of moms, founder and leader of the Mama Outspoken Village, published author, podcast host, executive team leader of My Sexy Business, host of the Vision Board Party, associate producer, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Carrie and Kim. As parents and entrepreneurs, I think we have a unique perspective, but I'm not sure that we are utilizing it. We give our children grace when they are learning things for the first time, or when we are trying to encourage disciplined behavior in the sense of being consistent. But yet, when we are doing those things ourselves in business, we can push ourselves to either get it or not. And in a way, we are our children's life adventure guides, or coaches, if you will, leading them by example, brainstorming solutions or ways to find solutions to their problems, holding them accountable, encouraging them through the difficult and easy parts, celebrating the big and the little wins, and of course, loving on them. So where are our business guides or groups that will do that for us? We don't have to have it all hard. There are tools and resources that can help make it simple and easy. You just have to give yourself grace and permission to accept the help. Be encouraged that there is a community that is your flavor, because business and life in general, I think, is better together. Someone might be waiting for you to ask them to be a part of your adventure. Back to you, Kim and Carrie.
I love what she said, Kat, because we were just talking about the community and how important it is to us. And we understand we're not everybody's flavor. Let me say that. We understand that. If not, we still encourage you. We encourage you to find a community that is your flavor. And if you're a mama looking for a place to, I think, just maybe it's war stories, Kat. Can we call mama war stories? But a place to be around other moms who are trying to figure things out and all of that. Because Jill just had her gathering last Saturday, and it's coming up again. She does it monthly, but I feel like it's really important. And if you want to get to know Jill better and know a little bit about her before you want to go to hang out with her, she's got a book that she's told her story in, and she shares how much, how hard it can be being a mom, how hard it is to go through a traumatic birth or different things. And she just really, she's very vulnerable in the book, Kat, very vulnerable.
Well, we all need a tribe. Whether you're a new mom, maybe you've been a mom for a while, maybe you're new in entrepreneurship, we all need a tribe. We need someone where we can go in and say, you know what, today sucked. And they go, yep, totally get it. So I think everybody needs that.
So our theme today is growing pains. And I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I feel like this is perfect again. And not really planned as far as not realizing what her segment was going to be. But I feel like that is growing pains. Growing pains, finding a community can have some growing pains to it. But I think that's part of what we're here to tell you. It's very important.
And speaking of telling people stories, our next roving reporter is going to talk about conversations and storytelling with Linda Bonney.
Linda Bonney is a master storyteller, conversationalist, creative writer, podcast host and producer, published author, summit leader, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, GME team. Crafting an effective and captivating brand story requires carefully choosing the tone and style in which it's told. Your personality should serve as a bit of a guide in the decision. Are you formal, and refined, or laid back and casual. Perhaps you have a bit of a humorous and lighthearted edge to your style and tone. You can consider the preferences of your audience and the context of your message when determining what tone to use. While it's important to be consistent, it's also a good idea to be open to adapt to different situations and people as needed. You can experiment with different styles, get feedback, and find out what truly does resonate with your target market. The right tone and style can convey your message and foster a strong connection with your audience in a way that might just surprise you. Back to you in the GME studio.
I love all the things that she shares, about conversations and, how to tell a story. And one of the things she does in her podcast is she has stories with the Sunday Roast. And she has turned that podcast into 3 volumes, maybe 4 volumes, one coming, and where she talks about all these conversations. And it's just amazing what she's done and listening to her and how she can tell a story. I mean, she could probably tell my story and I'd be fascinated, even though I know it already.
Well, funny you should say that, Kat, because the interview she did with you on her podcast is actually in the book that this cover is. I can't remember. I think it's 3, collection 3.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one that Kat is in. So if you want to read some behind the scenes about the icon Kat Corchado in Linda Bonney's voice, there you go. There's the book.
I love it.
And we want to mention too another podcast real quick that is actually from the last 2 Roving Reporters. It's a collaboration between Jill Olish and Linda Bonney, and it's called Mucked Up My Self-Care. Have to be careful how we say that. Mucked Up My Self-Care. But it's a great podcast because it's unedited. They have conversations, they share real and raw with their audience, and it's every Sunday it drops. So if you are mucking up your self-care, I would say definitely give it a listen. It's on all the podcatchers. So there you go, Kat.
Very good, Kim. Very good. I'm glad you were doing that, not me.
We were careful. Very careful.
So now let's take a minute and hear from one of our sponsors on our vision board party.
Do you remember making vision boards, getting a bunch of magazines and cutting out all the pretty images and headings? Do you remember feeling the drive after doing that and wanting to work so badly on obtaining all those things? I'm Jill Olish, the executive leader of the My Sexy Business team and host of our vision board parties. Vision boards are a powerful tool we use to help create the life we want. We can make our dreams our reality. And now we are bringing the fun to the community. You are invited to join us for our next vision board party. Whether this is your first time or you're due for an update, we will be working on updating our own vision boards and celebrating some of our wins from the quarter too. Bring your goals, aspirations, imagination, and snacks to create the visual roadmap to your dream life. RSVP with your email for the Zoom link at mysexybusiness.com.
I love the vision board party. I think that if you've ever done, the old fashioned way where you cut out the pictures and you paste it and everything, and that was fine. But now the vision party is, we deal with Canva, and it's so nice because there's so many things on Canva that you just have to have an imagination. I also can say that from doing the vision board that I have it on my desktop as we speak, but it's just what can happen with your personal life, what can happen with your business life. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? And things have come true, by the way, on the things that I've put on my vision board. I'm just putting it out there. So if you're wanting to see what the new vision party is, Our next Vision Board party is October 28th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Love it, Kat. And I will say that is where we all come together quarterly, and we will update our vision board. You know, when I was younger, I did the old school, what you were just talking about, Kat, and what a mess it would make. So I love the digital version because I get all the results from it, but I don't have to have the mess. I'm just going to say. So, and we want to invite everybody to not only save the date of October 28th, like Kat said, for that, but we also want to mention to all of like the community that September the 7th is our monthly accountability. I have to get all the words in there. Monthly accountability for sticky note time. And we are going to be doing kitchen to kitchen again right before it. So we do an hour of just sharing things from our kitchen so that it makes life as an entrepreneur easier. So I am excited about that too, Kat.
Me too.
So you are tuning into Good Morning Entrepreneurs, and we're so glad you're with us today for show number 76. And today's theme is growing pains. We've had a lot of growing pains around here, Kat.
I've had most of them. I'm just going to say. I've had most of the growing pains. So I know that we have a question of the week. And the question for this week, Kim, is how do I get through my business growing pains? How apropos.
So I find this question not only very timely, but it is a common one because a lot of people don't recognize when they start business or start as an entrepreneur, they don't recognize that it's not what I'm going to call a one and done. It's not just you do this thing and you're done. Okay, now everybody send me lots of money because I did this one thing this one time. That's not how business works. So growing pains are very, very common, especially when you're starting out. You don't realize or don't know what you don't know. So I think that's a source of growing pains. I think when you've been in business a long time, though, and you're going to do something a little different or up-level something, there's also a lot of growing pains then. And we don't want to scare anybody off, like from the adventure, but we just want to be honest about it. We want to let you know that there are a lot of growing pains and navigating your way through those. And I'm going to go back to the community again. Who you're surrounded with can make all the difference. And if you survive the growing pains, a lot of people just quit. A lot of people do something and they get to a certain level and then they fade off in the distance because it got too hard and they didn't know what to do about it. So surround yourself. That's going to be my big one. Surround yourself with people who will cheer you through the hard times.
And I can say that everything I've learned up until right now, talking about this, I've learned through the community, everything. And so it's just this feeling of I can reach out to anybody in the community and say, how can I do this better? Or how can I up level? And that's how you get better at business, is by learning. I didn't know any of the stuff that I know now. But in 2 years, I've learned a lot, I think. So this is a great community if that's your thing. I'm a ABC 1, 2, 3 girl. You got to speak really slow. So I get it. If you're one of those people, this is the community for you.
I love that, Kat.
So our next roving reporter is one half of the Salty Sisters. Guess who the other half is? And our next roving reporter is Yvonne Marchese with Entrepreneurship Later in Life.
Yvonne Marchese is the president of the Age Agitators Club, creator of the Aging Playfully Play Shop, podcast host, published author, branding photographer, summit leader, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. This is Yvonne Marchese coming to you as a roving reporter for Good Morning Entrepreneurs. I'm your resident age agitator, here to talk about later in life entrepreneurship. I'm on a walk, and I want to talk about the power of going for walks. I have been experiencing a challenge in my business. I'm wrapping up season 4 of the Late Bloomer Living podcast. And I knew I wanted to do an episode that was just me, and I have an idea for it, but I've been experiencing like a writer's block or a podcaster's block, whatever you will. And I sat down to record yesterday. I recorded something, but I wasn't really happy with it. I woke up this morning feeling bleh, and I decided that I needed to get myself out for a walk. And then it started to come to me. The format, the frame that I wanted the whole time started to come for me. So get out, go for a walk, see what it shakes up in this noggin of yours. And that is my advice for today. That is all for now. Back to you guys in the studio.
I have to second what she says, because walking is one of those things when you're stuck on something, regardless of what it could be, your job, it could be you're trying to get a project done, it could just be being an entrepreneur. When you walk, it clears the fog in your brain. And I can't tell you how many times I've tried to figure out a problem. I go walking and I come back and I go, yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I know exactly where to go from there. So
I love it. Well, she's talking this, and we just want to be like open about this. This is actually from a little bit ago that this video came from. Well, Late Bloomer Living podcast, she did the episode, and if you go listen to the grand finale, we'll call it, of season 4, you will hear how powerful that walk was, because it's a great episode.
absolutely. And she is also the prez, I call her the prez, of the Age Agitators Club. And the next meeting is September 4th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can reach out to Yvonne and see if this is a good fit for you.
I love it, because I keep saying I'm a card carrying member. Yvonne, I hope you're listening, because I need a card to carry so I can be a card carrying member. Well, and speaking of Salty Sisters, the other Beautimus half of the Salty Sisters with me on stage, I'll just say, her segment is
who is that?
I wonder. Health and wellness for entrepreneurs. Kat Corchado is a proud military veteran, health and wellness professional, founder of Small Space Pilates, movement specialist for injury, illness, and cancer recovery, podcast host, published author, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Carrie. Hi, everyone. We are still doing our wrist stretches. Here's stretch number 3. This one might be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to just advise you to be careful. Again, make sure these stretches are appropriate for you. So we've done our hands straight forward. We've done out to the side. Now we're going to take them this way. I know, right? So we've done stretches here, stretches here. Now turn your arms, your fingertips. Oh, spread your fingers wide. You may not even get to move. You might just feel this here. You can stretch back. Oh, notice I can't go very far. Stretch back and forward. Let's do a couple more. I feel that all the way up in my forearm. And then release. I felt that all the way up through here. So that's stretch number 3. Stay tuned next week for stretch number 4. And then we can put them all together. So until next time, back to you in the studio.
My goodness, Kat Corchado, you stretch me in ways I didn't even know that were possible. Let me just say that. You kick my booty and you make me better. How's that? That's your new tagline, Kat. So anyone who hasn't already heard us talking about it, Kat is the founder of Small Space Pilates, which is a community to work out in. There are a group of us who I don't know what we would do without you, Kat. We would probably still be like crawling around and not able to do anything that we wanted to do. You have made us so much better, but you are very generous in the fact you give a complimentary week of the community to anyone who wants to try it out and see if it is their flavor. So I like your no perfection policy. Lord knows I need no judgment in my life. Judgment's heavy, and I don't need any more heavy in my life. So I'm just going to say that, Kat.
Absolutely. I put the no perfection policy in there. That was kind of for me also, because instructors come off as, beautiful and perfect and, hair and makeup and everything. That's not me, you guys. Okay. Not me. I would
that's not true. That is not true. Kat is beautiful. Even when she's working out, I look at her sometimes and think, holy moly, how can you look that good when I'm over here like sweating? Well, Kat, your community is phenomenal, and our community as a whole is phenomenal, in my opinion.
Thank you, Kim.
I want to share really quickly about the places. If someone wants to come and try us out, your week is such an important place if you're looking for a place to, I'm going to say, recover from illness, injury, or even cancer. You have all these specialties. If you haven't worked out in a while and you want to get back into it, but you're afraid somebody's going to break you like I was when I started, I think your community is the perfect place. Collectively, our community meets on Clubhouse, which is an app that is audio only, so that we can actually have conversations. It's a place to practice your pitch, your intro, and your offer, and it's something we offer free for everyone. It's a public space, but we offer feedback and we offer encouragement and we offer like whatever we can in that. It's an hour and a half a week. Come and go as you please, all of that. But we'd like to put that invitation out there. If you have thought about wanting to check this community out, but you're a little bit, you're just not ready to go all in, audio only is so great because you don't have to be camera ready. You can just come and listen. It's almost like a radio show that you don't have to call in for. You can just have the conversation with somebody. How's that for an explanation? But we want to invite you because it's every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central on the Clubhouse app in the My Sexy Business House. That's a whole lot of information, we understand. But go to the website, go to Clubhouse. It's right on the homepage. You can click over and it'll take you to where you need to go. Come talk to us. Come hang out with us.
Absolutely. And the two hosts are Adam Rothenberg and Denise Millet. And speaking of the findability queen herself, she is our next roving reporter on helping entrepreneurs be findable.
Denise Millet is the findability queen, search marketing consultant, technology simplifier, host of the virtual scavenger hunt, published author, summit leader, and GME roving reporter. If you are a business owner and you've spent your time doing all kinds of things, but you really know that the secret to you building a bigger business is that you need to be out in the online space more. What would you recommend?
Wow. I would recommend that you choose your media, whether it's a podcast or whether you want to do a video vlog or video series or whatever, or blog. Pick one of those and make sure it has a page for each episode on your website, as much as you can, and be consistent. Pick something that's going to work for you and be consistent and keep modifying it and honing it until it's as good as you want it to be.
I love how she talks about something that can seem so huge and where people use all these big words, ABC 1, 2, 3 girl. And she breaks it down to where you go, oh, it's that. And so, Denise, I finally got your book. I have it on hand, just saying. And speaking of her book, Be Findable. If they can't find you, they can't do business with you, where she breaks it all down. So if you're like me, or even if you're not like me, get her book. You'll probably learn something.
Well, and we have to go back to our stat that we keep throwing out there because it's real. And that is, we've set records on our website for following what Denise has taught us. Adam has more than set records. He's actually hit over 1 million visitors in the last 18 months for following Denise's advice. So I think that that's something to be, you hear a lot of people talking about a lot of big numbers and things, but we're real people, y'all. I think that's the important thing to know, is we don't have, we didn't come from a background of that. And so Denise has made it possible for us to get these kind of results. You can too. So I'm just going to say that.
I'd like to say that we are ordinary people doing extraordinary things in our business.
I love that, Kat.
Thank you. I get a good thought every now and then. I'm like, oh, that sounds good.
I love it. Well, speaking of Adam Rothenberg and his entertainment platform getting over 1 million visitors, let's go over to his segment in Entrepreneurs in Entertainment. Adam Rothenberg is the interview king, media personality, creator of the Call Me Adam entertainment platform, published author, podcast host, red carpet correspondent, associate producer, and GME roving reporter.
Thanks, Kim and Kerry. It's Adam, and I'm back in the closet for yet another edition of Behind the Curtain. And today we are going back to 2009, when I had the distinct pleasure of meeting Wonder Woman herself, Linda Carter. Oh, let me back up a moment to 2008. When I got to see Linda Carter in concert for the first time at Michael Feinstein's cabaret club, Feinstein's at the Regency. Now, I didn't get to meet Linda then, but I was definitely a fan of her music. The following year, in 2009, I had another opportunity to see her in concert, but this time it was at the Allen Room at Lincoln Center Jazz, which overlooks New York City's iconic Columbus Circle. The show was fantastic, Linda was magnificent, and then came the moment I was so excited for. I got the chance to meet Linda Carter in person. Here I was, standing before Linda Carter, who I used to pretend to be growing up, running around my parents' house as if I was Wonder Woman herself, defending the red, white, and blue. Now, I didn't totally fangirl over her, but I did tell her what a big fan of hers I am. And that is today's Behind the Curtain story about how I got to meet Wonder Woman herself. It's back to you in the GME studio.
Who hasn't he met? That's what I want to know.
That's what I think too, Kat.
That's the appropriate question. We need a list, Adam, of who you haven't interviewed or met.
It'd be a shorter list, wouldn't it, Kat?
It would be.
So we have a picture, we hope. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So Adam, we are very jelly of all the people you know, especially Wonder Woman. Just saying. And, I definitely want to say that when you're talking about someone that iconic and that big of a star, and Adam is hanging out with them, I just want to point out, we should sit a little closer to Adam in the green room. Maybe it'll rub off, Kat.
Right.
So
Hopefully.
if you have not been to Adam's entertainment platform, callmeadam.com, head over there because lots of interviews, lots of amazing people that you'll recognize. You probably will see people that you have known your whole life and didn't even know that Adam knew them. So let me say that. But I also want to spill the tea a little more and say that Adam has a book coming out that is getting ready to, it's going to be hot off the presses in the next hours. It might be a few hours, but it will be hours because we are putting the finishing touches on everything. It is called Behind the Curtain: The Mistakes, Lessons Learned, and Triumphs of Interviewing Celebrities. And all I can say is I can't even imagine not being grueling over Linda Carter. Just saying. So,
Right? I would have been like, huh? What'd you say?
Exactly. Do you have your bracelets with you? That's what I would have wanted to know.
Exactly my point. I'd be like, wait, where's all the stuff? Where's your suit? So, Kim, I think we're going to go to our next segment that's specifically for you called Princess Speak.
So Princess Speak is the simple business language for entrepreneurs that has come from our community and come from all the things we talk about on the daily. We want to bring up Denise and Adam out of the green room and to join us because we definitely all are royals. Let me just say that. And yes, my crown is always crooked. And yes, Adam has a new crown. We just have to stop really quickly and say, everybody needs to pay attention to Adam's crown, and we'll tell the story behind that in just a second. But our Princess Speak phrase for the week is no unnecessary pressure. This is a rule we have around this community. A lot of times we put the pressure on ourselves in a way that's unnecessary. We try to do too much. We try to do the wrong things. All of those things add pressure that does not have to be that way. So when you're talking growing pains, theme of the show, be careful that you're not making it worse by expecting more than what you should from yourself or putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. So,
Well said, Kim.
Thank you, Kat.
I think it's also important to, when you have a project, and to break it down into steps so that it seems like the pressure isn't as much, that if you do it in tiny steps, that if you will get there, not finally, but you will get there. But, with being an entrepreneur and all the things, you're in your personal life, I just tell myself I'm going to be okay. And not having that pressure because of being in this community. And sometimes you can't see past the pressure. And that's what I love about this community is they'll say, well, why don't you do this? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. So.
Love it, Kat.
That's great, Kat. I look at no unnecessary pressure. We're all tempted as entrepreneurs. We're by ourselves. We want to do everything. We're excited about a lot of what we do. And we might commit to things, to be places, to interact with people, and life interferes. And I think part of no unnecessary pressure is to say everybody has life that interferes, and giving yourself the grace to allow yourself to take steps back if you have to, and not, feel like you failed, I guess. So that's my take.
Well said, Denise.
I agree with what everybody has said so far. I guess the one thing I will add is that I feel like there's a lot of ways you could help your teammates with no unnecessary pressure. And that would be, I feel like one thing I do to help with that, for instance, in like putting the Good Morning Entrepreneurs show together, I feel like one thing I do when I send out my emails, so on the flip side, as somebody who is helping put the show together on the back end, I have to send emails out to everybody involved in the show. And one thing I do is I do set some deadlines for things to be submitted by. I would say maybe 95% of the time, I won't say I always say it because I know I don't say it in every email, but 95% of the time I say, no unnecessary pressure. If you can get it in by this date, that's amazing. If you can't, well, then, I may not be able to play your new video, but I don't want you to feel the pressure like you have to get it in by then. Just know that if you don't, yes, there may be some consequences to that, but I don't want someone to feel like I have to drop everything right now to film this new video if they're going in the middle of something.
Agreed, Adam. And I must giggle because it was only a few days ago that we did your book launch party, and the pressure was intense for a minute because we knew we were going to miss the deadline. We set the deadline for your book being out into the world. And when we found some things we wanted to change and up level and do some things, I'm just going to put it like that, Adam, that it took longer. But knowing that we can take that pressure off and knowing that we can still get it out there and knowing that people are excited. I mean, you had the most fabulous book launch party, which, by the way, y'all, he was the birthday. He is the interview king always. His crown fits, even though it might fall a little. His crown fits. But Adam, I think the no unnecessary pressure, you were living proof of that night, being so gracious and so wonderful, because it wouldn't have done any good to have been under pressure. It wouldn't have changed it. And I think that's the part we don't realize a lot of times, is we can make ourselves feel discombobulated. We can make ourselves feel awful, and it's not necessary.
Kim, I just want to say that was a great example, and I don't know why I didn't think of that for myself when it happened to me. But thank you for sharing that with everybody, because that was something that was very important that we discussed beforehand to keep the launch party the date it was, even though the book wasn't ready. So thank you for letting everybody know that and for bringing that forward.
Well, just as a little side note, it's because it was also a birthday, like the Interview King's birthday that day. So that's perfectly fitting to have had the book launch party. If you all haven't already heard us say, be aware, the book's coming. It's coming. So don't give up yet. We're getting it out the door very soon, hours away. I do want to quickly say, if you want to connect with any of the Roving Reporters, I think this is a really important part that we've been missing. I will say I've been missing saying. We have a directory of all the Roving Reporters and how to connect with them on our website at mysexybusiness.com/GME. So if you all didn't already know that, please go and connect with all these lovely humans who are doing amazing things in the world. And you watcher, if you're an entrepreneur, we feel you. We understand how it is to be on this adventure and how it can be really hard sometimes. So please don't give up during your growing pains, and please take the unnecessary pressure off. Till next week, we love y'all.
Join us next Friday at 7 a.m. Central. This is the team signing off for Good Morning Entrepreneurs.